Today, I want to talk about the pain of feeling misunderstood. And I have to say, this is not a video with solutions because I don't know the solution for it. It's more of a I feel this way, and if you feel this way too, I feel your pain. I am very tired of feeling misunderstood. I believe that I was misunderstood most of my life. I understand this now. When you receive criticism when you're a kid, you don't think, oh, I'm being misunderstood. You immediately assume you're doing something bad. And that's what happened. And that carried on for most of my adulthood. Every time there was a problem or somebody was angry at me or there was any kind of issue, I always assumed I've done something. It's my fault. And it's only very, very recent times that I started to question that story and realizing, like, wait a minute, maybe I'm not a bad person and maybe I've been misunderstood many times. And I believe my sensitivity was misunderstood when I was a kid. I think it was seen as maybe like spoiled or and my sensitivity for injustice was seen as problematic or again like a spoiled brat. And then as an adult, one of the things that I felt so painfully misunderstood was like my mental health. I've struggled a lot with anxiety and depression, and I've done 10 years of therapy total. And it started when I was in high school, and it makes me a bit emotional. I started shutting down. I barely wanted to leave the house. I wanted to just be by myself and read or sleep or eat or play video games. Things that would make me feel good or would make me feel anything or nothing. Or just would take me out of the present situation that I didn't really like at all. And that nobody noticed that was depression. And it was seen just as a weird teenage phase, I guess. And then also, like, my struggles were seen as like me shutting down and me isolating was seen as, oh, you don't have an interest in others or in the family, instead of being seen as, oh, maybe you need help. And then as an adult, when I started expressing, because I believed at some point, at first I thought that I was struggling with my mental health because I gained a lot of weight in high school. So boys didn't like me, and that was the end of my world. You know what it's like being a teenager. And I thought that was the root of the problem. Like, what did I know? And then I lost weight, but my problems didn't go anywhere. So I thought I would grow out of them, but I wasn't growing out of them. So then I was expressing a little bit of my anxieties or my fears or my issues, and I didn't always find people didn't always understand me. And I found criticism or judgment or even being dismissed. Like a person very close to me told me, oh, you feel that way because you don't have real problems. And that really made me shut down. I was like, you need to keep this to yourself because, first of all, people are not understanding it. You're feeling worse. I was trying to feel better by connecting. Sorry if I get a bit emotional. I was triggered. That wound was triggered today. This is why I wanted to do this video. This is why I think I feel so emotionally about it. Not that I don't feel like I always feel emotional about it, but it's very present. And so that made me think, yeah, you just need to not share this with anyone because People are not going to understand it, and it made me feel worse. I felt a lot of shame and guilt, and also I thought I could see what people said about people that struggled like me, and there were not nice things. So I didn't want to be one of those people. I didn't want to be rejected because I was, like a Debbie Downer or dramatic or any of those things. So I just stopped sharing stuff. And thank goodness that's when I started therapy. So I had a place where I could talk about these things. But the thing is, even if I tried really, really, really hard, I tried so hard to get over my issues, and I pushed myself as much as I could, and in every sense, career-wise, socially, romantically, in every sense. I was constantly, it was a constant struggle. I didn't know how to get over it. And then in the last few years, it was worse in a way because I lost that ability to push myself. It's like my body just decided to have a mind of its own, and I lost the ability to take control of the situation and say I may be scared of this, but I'm gonna do it anyway, or this gives me anxiety, but I'm gonna do it anyway, this makes me feel bad, but I'm gonna stay anyway. That became just harder and harder, and I couldn't push myself to do certain things. My body was resisting so much, I just couldn't do it. So that made it, in a way, worse, but really it was just stop pretending. Actually, stop pretending, because that's what I was doing. On the outside, I was pretending that things were better than they were. It's stop performing. But obviously, then all those things I was trying to keep hidden were more visible. And then there was more misunderstanding, because people just cannot understand why you're not doing certain things. And it was very hard. I had to let go of my business. I broke up with my then partner. And people could not understand any of these things. And also I felt like the bad guy, because I don't want to mix topics here, but it's just the misunderstandings keep piling on. With that partner, he wasn't as amazing as people thought he was. I just was not talking about certain things that were happening, and he was better at pretending, not pretending, at these people that show a different face outside the home and inside the home. He was an extreme version of that. I'm not talking about an evil, narcissistic person. He wasn't that type of person, but he was not exactly how he portrayed himself to be. But I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want others to see him in a bad light, even after we broke up. So whatever, more misunderstandings. Nobody knew how unhappy I was in my relationship except my therapist. And so, yeah, again, in these last few years, I feel that I'm even more misunderstood. And I even, I had a viral infection 3 years ago, but a serious one, and it left me with some physical symptoms way after the virus is gone, like a post-viral syndrome, like long COVID, something like that. It's not an extreme, super bad case, but I used to run 10 kilometers, and I would work out 4 times a week, yoga, heat programs, all kinds of things, and then I couldn't do anything. And I haven't really recovered. And every time I try to go back to exercise, I feel that this fatigue and these pains in my body that were not there before. And It's not that I was always like a super sporty person. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. It was something very new that I had started just like 3 years before this, the viral infection. And so I know what it's like when you start exercising and your body hurts everywhere because, you have muscle stiffness and all that stuff. Like, I know that. This is different. This is stronger, is like fatigue, very intense fatigue, weird pains, and it's mental fatigue, physical fatigue. It's just different. So actually today I mentioned it. I don't want to talk about it because I feel it's another thing that people are gonna go, I don't get it. And today I mentioned it to somebody in my life, and again, I didn't feel misunderstood. I felt that they were not interested. They didn't ask any questions like, oh, what is it like, how are you feeling it. It was no interest. It was just like I said it, and I kind of died. The only response I got was like, well, maybe it's this cold weather. I think it's also. And I thought, this is not about cold weather. Like, this is 3 years, I'm talking about 3 years. It has nothing to do with cold weather. And there were times when it was very nice and hot, and I remember the first time I tried to go back to exercising after the viral infection, when I could, because it took weeks for me to recover. I almost passed out at the gym, and because my body was like, no, 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 we don't like physical effort suddenly. Like, no, if you keep, I remember I was running on the treadmill, and at some point my body was like feeling more and more like anxious. And then at some point I could feel getting dizzy, and like my body saying like, you either stop or I'm gonna make you stop. So it has nothing to do with the cold. But again, it was one of those moments when I felt like, oh, they maybe think I'm making it up. And I guess this is how many people feel, many people with chronic illnesses, especially the type of chronic illnesses that cannot be seen in a blood test or anything, like fibromyalgia and things like that. And this is what it feels like with mental health as well. It's like you have this illness. Imagine you have like a horrible stomach ache, and it gives you so much pain, and it starts you it interferes with your life. You don't want to go to this party because you're gonna have a stomach ache, or you go to the party but you're there, like the only thing you can think about is how much your stomach hurts, and you do not eat this and you cannot eat that, and it has all kinds of consequences and effects on your life. And you then start seeing specialists, and you start different treatments, and you read books about it, and you're just trying to solve it as many ways as you can, and to no avail. You don't get any results. And then when you talk to people, they think you're exaggerating it, or they say things like, well, we all have stomach aches, or yeah, well, maybe it's because you don't have real problems, so that's why you worry about your stomach ache. or they try to give you solutions that don't really solve anything. Like, I don't know, have you tried to eat apples? And it's like, what does that have to do with anything? Or maybe it's a solution that works, but it's like, yeah, I've tried all the how to say it, all the solutions that are obvious, all the obvious solutions I've tried. And I'm not complaining because I like to complain. I am also not even complaining. I'm just expressing what things are like for me. I don't even want to complain. And maybe I just want to be understood. Maybe I just want you to know why I'm at your party, but I'm not the life of the party just because my stomach aches. And it's so hard. People constantly dismiss you and don't understand you. It's so damn hard. And this is what I feel like with my anxiety and my struggles with my self-esteem and my confidence, and now with this fatigue, or it's like I don't even know how to say it anymore. And the thing is, I don't say it. That's what I did for the longest time. I was like, I'm just not gonna talk about it. I'm just gonna talk about it in therapy with somebody that I pay, so they listen to me and they don't complain, and they also understand most of the time. Therapists understand, or most of them, I'd say. But it's really lonely when you do that, because it's like this big part of your life that is causing you so many problems, and you cannot talk about it. And then it feels very lonely, and then also it breeds more misunderstandings because you do certain things. Like in my case, for instance, there were moments when I just felt too bad to talk to anyone, but I didn't want to say, I was crying or I feel shit and I don't even know why. So I didn't say anything, and then maybe people thought I didn't care about them, or that I was selfish, or that I was disinterested, or it's just like it breeds more misunderstanding. But then if you try to talk, it's like they don't get it either. So it's very like I felt trapped in a way. So for many years I did that. I did the I'm not going to talk about it. But it doesn't really work. And so I just tried to suppress it, to suppress how it makes me feel. Actually, today I felt it. Today, this little conversation, it triggered me, and I didn't want to fully acknowledge it. It was clear. I was like, no, I'm not feeling great. I don't know why. It's like I knew why exactly, but I didn't want to acknowledge it. And I was trying to distract myself, go for a walk, blah, da, 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 da. And then I was like, I feel like that wound of feeling misunderstood, feeling like people are going to think I'm making it up. I feel alone. I feel that my problems don't matter, because when I talk about them, it's like, like saying nothing. I feel fearful of being myself, because if I'm myself, I don't know if other people are going to misunderstand me and react badly to it. That wound was triggered. So I cried a little. I talked to someone, and not. I felt a little bit understood, but not immensely. Whatever. And then I thought, I'm gonna express this. I'm gonna put it on a video. And I guess this is why also I want to do these videos, is I have a place where I can express myself authentically without the fear of a real person in front of me, and then that causes like like noise between my thoughts and the way I express myself, because there's so much noise in the form of like, oh, maybe they're not gonna like it, maybe they're going to react badly, what if they get angry at you, and it's like, and I cannot express myself authentically. It's very hard, and in front of a camera maybe it's easier. And I guess again, I don't have a solution for it that I know. I just know it's painful, and I just know that every time somebody says, you just don't care about what other people think, I wanna claw, like, I wanna like attack them, because it's easy to say. And it's not only that it's hard to do, it's fake. It's fake. How am I not going to care what others think? If I was a multi-millionaire, maybe I could afford to not care about what other people think. But I'm not, sadly. So I need to live in this world. I need to live with others. I need to work. I need to be involved. I need a community. I cannot, if I had, again, many millions, I could afford to not have to worry about people liking me or disliking me, and therefore hiring me or not hiring me for a job, or clients disliking me, whatever. I don't want to have to worry about any of that, because I don't have to work for, so no problems. I wouldn't have to worry about finding somebody to connect with, because I could pay a therapist and just talk to them. I could use money to cover all of those needs. But because I don't, I need humans, like we all do, or most of us do. I don't know, maybe there are some people there that don't, good for them, but most of us still need to live in this world. So we still care about what other people think. If we didn't, we would behave so differently. So every time I hear someone saying that, I think it's such a fake statement. It's as fake, by the way, as when people say, oh, people don't really think about you. Bullshit. People think about others all the time. I've been in so many conversations where people were ripping apart somebody that was not present, judging their marriage, the way they dress, their decisions, their everything. So people think about others. So can we stop pretending that people don't think about other people? And can we stop pretending that what other people think of us is important and affects us? How is it not going to? Like, it makes no sense. It makes me angry, these two things. And I think it's like when people say, talk about race, and like, I don't see color. It's like such a privileged thing to say because sadly we live in a racist society. And yeah, it's kind of the same. It's the same way of thinking. It's delusional and it's privileged. So anyways, you see, I said that immediately, the fear of you're going to be misunderstood, people are going to get angry. Like, nobody's watching these videos. But if somebody is like, oh my God, they're not going to like you. They're going to think you're problematic or blah, 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 blah. And it's like, oh, this is a constant. Anyways, and it hurts. It hurts. Especially it hurts when I'm not a liar. Like, of all the things you could say about me, I'm not a person that goes around telling these made up stories. It's never happened. I really don't like complaining, because I know that people can be nasty. So if I can avoid it, I do. When I go and express myself vulnerably, is because I feel very overwhelmed, or because I don't know, or I express just 10%. So it's even harder when you're like trying so hard to repress yourself, and the people think that you're making things up, or that you get doing some things for attention. It's like, what kind of attention do you get with this? You don't get any good attention, at least in my experience. I don't know, maybe other people say, oh my God, when I start talking about how poorly I feel, like I have like everyone cannot stop being so kind to me all the time. But in my experience, people are kinder, and they react better to people who are joyful and positive, and they talk about positive stuff and fun things, and not the people that say, I'm really sad, I'm dealing with depression, and I feel horrible about myself, and I don't know what to do about it. What kind of good attention does that attract? Not a lot. So it doesn't make any sense. Anyways, if somebody's watching this, I hope this made you feel less alone, because it can be very lonely. And it's not your fault. And the more I learn about how a nervous system works, and how conditioning works, and all of that, the more I know how not your fault it is, and the more rage I have about people implying that it's something you control easily and you can just change easily, and if you don't, it's because you're not trying hard enough. It really pisses me off. Well, this is the end of the video. My name is Maria, and I love it if you stayed here with me. Bye bye.